Good morning. I'm back to All Right, What's Next. Today we're going to work on making another type of coaster. This coaster is just going to be a resin base, and we're going to embed a image into it. And as far as the image goes, it's going to be my logo. I have it printed out, sized appropriately so it'll fit my freaking my coaster mold. I got my coaster mold here. If you want to see how I made that, there's a previous video where I made a riverbed freaking coaster with that. But we're going to use this to start with our base. And to do the base, it's just going to be the amazing clear cast resin. Part A, Part B. I like this stuff. It's, I'd say, relatively inexpensive, but it's not. It's resin. Resin's expensive. This kit's freaking $18 from Hobby Lobby. And then we're going to dye it with just plain black mica powder. That's cheap. You can buy a box of freaking, like, oh God, how many did I get? Like 64 different colors in a box. It might even be more than that for like $13. And this shit freaking goes a long ways. You can get a lot of crap out of one bag. Now this is actually the second time I've done this video. I recorded this video yesterday and went inside, put it on the computer, found out fucking audio, once again, didn't work. I don't know why. I ordered a new receiver, transmitter, wireless microphone set up this morning because I've been losing a lot of freaking content because my microphone keeps cutting out. And this setup is about almost a year old now, and it gets beat to shit because it's in my back pocket, and I'm always running into stuff. Anyways, I came out this morning, figured all I'd have to do is reshoot the intro. Because that was the only part of it that I lost any freaking audio on. The rest of it that I recorded yesterday, I didn't need audio. I could just put music to it, whatever. But pull everything out of the pressure pot, and it was a disaster. Because I was using the pressure pot, I said, I got some other projects, I'm going to put it all in there. I had a shot glass that I wanted to freaking make, and I made way too much resin for the shot glass, and since I had all this resin left over, I didn't want to waste it, so I grabbed all my dice molds, and I made a full set of freaking dice, and I still had resin left over, but I was out of room on here, and I was out of molds to use, so I did lose that much freaking resin, which, not bad. But anyways, I got a full set of freaking dice, and I got everything stacked into this right here. Put it in the pressure pot, nice and careful, and everything's all balanced precariously in there. Went about my day. I had some other projects going on, and I freaking went over there and tripped over the goddamn air line to the pressure pot that was still hooked up, and the pressure pot rocked. And like, okay, not bad. It barely moved. It should be all right. It wasn't all right. 3 of the freaking dice molds dumped over, 4 of the dice molds dumped over, so the resin freaking leaked out of them, so I lost 4 of the dice, and one of the dice molds, unfortunately, fell into my coaster mold. So that was fun trying to unbed that out of the resin without damaging my dice mold. But I got out of there, took my coaster in the garbage. Now it's got a big void in it, and it's got rubber bands molded into the resin that I use to hold the dice mold shut. So, anyways, yesterday was basically a complete flop for this video, so now I get to start over from scratch and mix this up. We're going to pour this, put it in the pressure pot, and then we'll come back tomorrow after this is cured, and I'll show you how to embed a image into the resin and make it permanent. Well, if I show you, I mean, I'm going to see if it works, see if whatever stupid shit's going on up here is actually going to apply to my coaster idea. So I'll see you tomorrow. You don't need to see this. You've probably seen this 1,000 times. Alright, so I went ahead and demolded my freaking coaster blank. So all it is just black square of acrylic. Now, the resin kind of settled to where it's got some raised ridges up here on the outer edges. So we're gonna bevel that off, and then we'll sand these outside edges a little bit, freaking smooth them up, make them look a little bit better, and then we're going to embed our freaking design into it. All I'm going to do is just, let's see, what do I got for, I got some 80 grit. Let's see how well this works. Yeah, I'm going to jump over to my belt sander here and I'm going to freaking take these things down at a little bit of a bevel. Alright. We got all them ridges off and removed some of my freaking fingerprints. And we're just going to take some 220 and clean up some of these edges here. Alright, that's what we're left with. Scratched up piece of black plastic. Alright, so now we need my friggin' channel logo. We gotta cut it out. You want to make goddamn sure you don't leave any of the white paper on there, because that'll stand out like a sore thumb. Got my 3M Super 77 spray adhesive. Ugh. Nozzle's a little fucking clogged. There we go. And we'll center her up. Now I don't know how well you can see it, but as soon as I put that down on there, I noticed I left a fine line of white paper right across the top right there. So, get your X-Acto knife out. You know what? Don't get the X-Acto knife out, because I actually friggin' compounded the issue. Just be more careful when you frickin' cut it. So now, instead of being really, really small line, I kind of helped define it a little bit more. But, oh well. Fuck it. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next step. Mix up a small batch of resin. Alright, before I pour this, I'm going to make sure I've got a relatively level platform. It's pretty freaking level that way. It is pretty level that way. It's not 100% perfect level, but it's pretty fucking close. Close enough for government work. Alright, that should be sufficiently mixed. We're just going to pour right into the center of it. And this is why you want it level, because it's going to flow. Make sure it gets a nice friggin' thin coat. Now this is a fairly thick coat, but that's alright, because it's going to run off the edges. You just want to make sure the whole top is completely covered. And then what you do is you just kind of drag it off a little bit and drag it down the sides. Make sure the sides get a nice clear coat on them. So after sanding them, they're going to look like complete shit. But you put a new layer of resin on it. That fills in all the cracks and it brings it back up to a glass smooth surface. Make sure you got good coverage all the way around it. Once you do, now you just let this sit. We're going to let some of the air pockets come up a little bit. We'll pop them air bubbles with that torch. Now you can use a heat gun if you got a heat gun. I don't know if a freaking blow dryer Would it get hot enough? Believe it or not, I don't own a blow dryer. Okay, so alright, it's had time to cure. It's actually had more than enough time to cure because it's been curing for 2 days now. So, I scraped the bottom of it as the resin was dripping, and that took care of 99.9% of it. There was a little friggin' high spot right here, and just hit it with a sander, ground it off. It doesn't matter, it's on the bottom. So, the only thing we got left to do now is we got to put a cork on there. Now, the cork that I have is slightly bigger, so we're just going to take a friggin' X-Acto knife quick. And yes, Joe, I'm saying frickin' a lot, so fuck off. We're just going to trim some of this off. Alright, that fits. Go that up, set that down. We'll center this guy up roughly. We got a cork base, which is not actually centered up, but you know, once again, who gives a shit? It's on the bottom. And it is done. The only problem I had, I don't think I got enough adhesive on this corner over here. And it looks like the paper lifted just a hair and exposed an air pocket or something that came up after I had already hit it with the torch. I don't know if you can see it or not. You can only see it with the light obscuring a little bit and shining across it at a weird angle. Straight down, you really can't see it. But that's it. It's done. That's all you got to do to friggin' embed any sort of picture, insignia, whatever you want into a coaster. They're pretty simple to friggin' make, and I dig it. So this is going to go on my computer desk. I should probably make some more of these because, believe it or not, I know some people that want one. Alright, everybody. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, subscribe, turn on the notifications, send me all your money. Bye.